I supported my wife through her incredible 55-pound weight loss transformation, paying for her gym, trainer, and completely changing our lifestyle. The day she reached her goal weight, she told me she'd settled for me when she was fat and insecure, and wanted a divorce. 3 years later, she's desperately begging me to take her back, but I'm now married to someone who chose me as her first pick, not her backup plan. My name is Robert, and I'm about to tell you how my wife's incredible weight loss transformation turned her into a completely different person, who threw away 15 years of marriage for a fantasy that never materialized. It all started 3 years ago when my wife Amanda decided she wanted to lose weight. At the time, she was about 180 pounds on her 5 feet 4 inches frame. And while I thought she was beautiful exactly as she was, she'd been struggling with self-confidence for years. I supported her decision completely, even when it meant completely reorganizing our entire lifestyle. Amanda and I had been married for 12 years at that point, together since college. I was 38, working as a project manager for a construction company, and she was 36, working part-time at a local library while taking care of our home. We had a comfortable life in suburban Minneapolis, a nice house, 2 cars, and plans to start trying for kids once Amanda felt more confident about her health. I was the kind of husband who genuinely tried to be supportive. When Amanda decided to join a gym, I paid for a premium membership without question. When she wanted to hire a personal trainer, I worked overtime to afford it. When she decided to completely overhaul our kitchen and grocery shopping to support her new eating habits, I threw out everything she asked me to and learned to cook healthy meals alongside her. "You're amazing, Rob," she'd say during those early months. Usually after I'd spent my Saturday morning meal prepping healthy lunches for both of us. "I couldn't do this without you." And I was genuinely proud of her progress. Amanda was dedicated, in a way I'd never seen before. She was at the gym at 5 a.m. every morning, tracked every calorie, and completely transformed her relationship with food. The weight started coming off steadily, 5 pounds the first month, then 10, then 15. But as the weight came off, something else started changing too. Amanda became obsessed with her appearance in a way that went far beyond healthy self-improvement. She spent hours every day looking at herself in mirrors, taking selfies, and comparing her progress photos. She started buying expensive clothes and makeup, investing in professional photo shoots, and posting constantly on social media about her transformation journey. "I'm finally becoming who I was meant to be," she told me after she'd lost about 40 pounds. She looked incredible, I had to admit, but there was something in her eyes that I didn't recognize, a kind of hunger that had nothing to do with food. The problems really started when Amanda reached her goal weight of 125 pounds. She looked absolutely stunning, like a completely different person from the woman I'd married. But instead of being satisfied with her achievement, she seemed more restless than ever. "I wasted so many years being fat and invisible," she said one night as we lay in bed. "Do you realize how differently people treat me now? Men look at me, really look at me. I tried to be understanding. Honey, you were never invisible to me. I've always thought you were beautiful." "That's different," she said, and there was a dismissiveness in her voice that hurt. "You had to think that. You were married to me." Amanda started going out more often, supposedly to celebrate her weight loss with friends from the gym. Come home late, talking excitedly about all the attention she was getting. How many men had approached her, how different it felt to be desired. "I'm not doing anything wrong," she'd insist when I expressed concern. "I'm just enjoying feeling confident for the first time in my adult life." "Don't you want me to be happy?" Of course I wanted her to be happy, but this wasn't the woman I'd married. The Amanda I'd fallen in love with was kind, thoughtful, and content with our quiet life together. This new Amanda was constantly seeking validation, always looking for the next compliment, the next rush of attention. The breaking point came about 8 months after she'd reached her goal weight. Amanda came home from another night out and sat me down at our kitchen table with a look I'll never forget. "Rob," she said, her voice steady but cold, "I need to be honest with you. I'm not happy in this marriage anymore. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach." "What do you mean? Did I do something wrong?" "I didn't do anything wrong," she said, which somehow made it worse. You're a good man. You've been supportive and kind and everything a husband should be. But I realized that I settled for you when I was insecure and didn't think I could do better." The words hung in the air like a physical weight. After 12 years of marriage, after supporting her through everything, she was telling me I'd been her consolation prize. "Amanda, this is crazy," I said, trying to keep my voice calm. "We built a life together. We were planning to have children. You can't throw that away because you lost weight." "It's exactly what I'm doing," she said with a certainty that chilled me. "I'm 36 years old, and for the first time in my life, I'm attractive. I'm not going to waste that on a marriage I only entered because I didn't think I had better options." She moved out the following week, into an apartment downtown that she said would be better for her new lifestyle. The divorce proceedings were surprisingly amicable, mainly because I was too shocked and heartbroken to fight. Amanda got half of our assets, which was fair, and I kept the house. "I hope you find someone who appreciates you," she said, when we signed the final papers. "You deserve to be with someone who chose you because they wanted you, not because they settled for you." It was meant to be kind, I think. But it was the cruelest thing she could have said. For the first few months after the divorce, I was a mess. I couldn't understand how 15 years of what I thought was a happy relationship could be dismissed so icily. I blamed myself, wondering if I'd become complacent, if I'd failed to appreciate the woman Amanda had become. But slowly, I started to rebuild my life. I threw myself into work, got promoted to senior project manager, and started taking care of myself in ways I'd neglected during my marriage. I lost 20 pounds myself, not through obsession like Amanda, but through healthy habits and regular exercise. I started reading again, picked up guitar lessons, and began socializing with friends I'd lost touch with during my marriage. Meanwhile, Amanda's social media told the story of her new life. Photos from clubs and restaurants, pictures with different men, captions about living my best life and never settling again. She looked happy, or at least she looked like someone performing happiness for an audience. About a year after our divorce, I started dating Sarah, a 34-year-old architect I met through a hiking group. Sarah was naturally slender, confident without being vain, and genuinely interested in building something meaningful together. She knew about my divorce and Amanda's reasons for leaving, and her response was perfect. Her loss, she said simply, anyone who would throw away a good marriage because they think they can do better was never worth keeping anyway. Sarah and I took things slow, but it quickly became clear that we were compatible in ways Amanda and I had never been. We shared similar values, enjoyed each other's company, and built our relationship on mutual respect rather than convenience or insecurity. 2 years after my divorce, Sarah and I got engaged. We were planning a small wedding for the following spring, and I was genuinely happier than I'd been in years. My career was thriving, my relationship was solid, and I'd finally stopped defining myself by Amanda's rejection. That's when Amanda started reaching out. It began with casual texts, "Hope you're doing well," and "Saw a movie we used to love, made me think of you." I was polite but distant, assuming she was just feeling nostalgic. But the messages became more frequent and more personal. "I miss our conversations," she texted one evening. "You were always such a good listener. Hope you're happy, Amanda." I replied, but we both moved on. "This isn't appropriate." The turning point came when Amanda called me, crying on a Thursday evening, 3 months after I'd gotten engaged to Sarah. "Rob, I made a terrible mistake," she sobbed into the phone. "It's the worst mistake of my life. I need to see you." Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet her for coffee. When I saw Amanda at the cafe, I was shocked by how different she looked. Not physically, she was still thin and conventionally attractive. But there was something desperate in her eyes that hadn't been there before. "I've been miserable," she said, without preamble. "These past 3 years have been the loneliest of my life. I thought I wanted excitement and passion and to feel desired, but it's all so empty." I listened as she told me about her dating life since our divorce, the string of men who were interested only in her body, the shallow relationships that never developed into anything meaningful, the growing realization that the attention she'd craved was worthless without genuine connection. "Dated has been selfish or immature or just looking for a hookup," she continued. "They see my body and think they know who I am, but none of them care about getting to know the real me. None of them would support me the way you did. Amanda, I said gently, what are you trying to tell me? I want to come home, she said, reaching across the table to grab my hand. I want to fix what I broke. I know I hurt you terribly, but I've learned my lesson. I know now what real love looks like, and it's what we had. I pulled my hand away, feeling sad rather than angry.
Amanda.
I'm engaged. I'm getting married in 6 months. Her face crumpled. To who? Her name is Sarah. She's wonderful, and I love her. But you loved me first, Amanda said desperately. We had 15 years together. That has to count for something. It does count for something, I said. It counts as a lesson learned for both of us. You taught me that I deserve someone who chooses me enthusiastically, not someone who settles for me and then leaves when they think they can do better. Amanda started crying harder. I was stupid and selfish. I was drunk on attention, and I made the worst decision of my life. Please don't let my mistake cost us everything. I felt genuinely sorry for her, but I also felt completely resolved. Amanda, even if I weren't with Sarah, we couldn't go back. You can't unknow what you know about yourself. You told me you settled for me, that you married me because you didn't think you had better options. How could we build a marriage on that foundation? Because now I know better, she pleaded. Now I know that good men are rare, that loyalty and kindness mattered more than excitement, that what we had was precious. You're right, I said. But you learned that lesson by throwing away our marriage. I learned my lesson by moving forward without you. I left Amanda crying in the cafe and drove home to Sarah, who was cooking dinner in our kitchen. When I told her about the meeting, she listened thoughtfully and then hugged me. How do you feel? She asked. Sad for her, I said honestly, but grateful. If Amanda hadn't left me, I never would have found you. Amanda continued to reach out for several months, becoming increasingly desperate. She sent long emails detailing her regrets, showed up at my workplace, and even contacted some of our mutual friends to ask them to intercede on her behalf. Each attempt only reinforced my certainty that I'd made the right decision. Sarah and I got married on a perfect spring day, surrounded by friends and family who genuinely celebrated our happiness. During my vows, I talked about finding someone who chose me not as a backup plan, but as their first choice. Looking into Sarah's eyes, I felt the kind of love Amanda had been chasing, the love that comes from being truly known and valued. 3 years later, Sarah and I have a beautiful 1-year-old daughter and another baby on the way. I'm now a regional manager for my company. We own a larger house in a great neighborhood. Our life together keeps getting better. I heard through mutual friends that Amanda is still single, still looking for the perfect man who will give her both security and excitement. She's now 42, and according to our friends, she's becoming increasingly bitter about her dating prospects. Apparently, she talks often about the mistake she made in divorcing me. But she's never been able to find someone willing to build the kind of stable, loving relationship she threw away. I don't hate Amanda. I genuinely hope she finds happiness someday. But I'm also profoundly grateful that she left me. Her rejection forced me to grow in ways I never would have otherwise. And it led me to Sarah, who loves me exactly as I am. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is actually the best thing. That could have happened, just disguised as heartbreak. Amanda thought she was trading up when she left me for the promise of something better. Instead, she traded a real diamond for the fool's gold of shallow attention and empty validation. As for me, I got the better end of that deal. I got Sarah, I got our children. I got the knowledge that I'm with someone who chose me not because she had no other options, but because she couldn't imagine wanting anyone else. Amanda lost weight and thought it would change her life. Was right, it did change her life, just not in the way she expected. She lost 55 pounds and gained a whole new perspective on what really matters. Unfortunately for her, she gained that perspective too late to save what she'd thrown away. But that's the thing about second chances. They're not guaranteed, and they're not owed. Amanda gambled our marriage on the belief that she could do better, and she lost. Meanwhile, I won the lottery when Sarah said yes to my proposal today. As I watched Sarah read bedtime stories to our daughter, I feel nothing but gratitude for the path that led me here. Amanda's weight loss journey taught her that external changes don't automatically lead to happiness. My journey after our divorce taught me that sometimes losing everything is the only way to find what you were really looking for. Amanda is still looking for her perfect match, still chasing the excitement and passion she thought she deserved. I found mine in Sarah's quiet strength and her daily choice to build a life with me. In her understanding that real love isn't about settling or trading up, it's about finding someone you want to choose every single day. The woman who left me because she thought she could do better gave me the greatest gift of all. She freed me to find someone who knows I'm not her consolation prize, but her grand prize. And that, I think, is the most poetic justice of all.